Hey lovelies, welcome to the new moon in Virgo reading. Now this reading is going to be for everyone. Okay, so typically in a moon cycle, the new moon comes first and then its opposite sign from the sun comes later on for the full moon. So the new moon, for those of you that don't know, is about setting intentions. So this is definitely a good time to pause this, get a pen and paper, just kind of take some notes if you're going to do a ritual. If not, watch. It's not necessary, but a lot of the people that I work with like to do their own rituals or set their own intentions. So this is a really good time to do so. So let's jump in. The overall energy that we have is gratitude, y'all. Now this hand, one of the hands looks older than this one, so it could be being really grateful for the people that you have in your life. You know, right now it's COVID and there's so much going on, and you know, for those people who are sick, for those people who are elderly, who are going through, be thankful for your vitality. This is kind of giving me that energy. Virgo is the nurturer, you know, it's life path 6 energy. So some of you might be life path 6. Right, what I'm picking up right away is we have some Aquarius here, we have some Pisces energy, we have Libra, but most importantly, I'm seeing that right now is to be grateful for your vitality. There's a lot of people in the collective that are suffering, and even if you're not experiencing it directly, the universe wants all of us to have gratitude for where we are, no matter what's going on, because we're healing on a global sense, we're healing on a vibrational sense. So for the first thing that you could do if you wanted to do a ritual tonight, since we have the number 5 here, is the list of 5 things. Gratitude. What are you grateful for? You know, even if it's just your health, you know, it could literally just be the fact that you have hands and legs and arms, like literally the most basic things, because right now it's just been a very challenging time for a lot of people. And the crystals, for those of you guys who are interested in crystals, we have azurite and topaz, but this one is all about deep emotional healing. It says your heart is ready to heal from the past experiences and you're willing to devote time and energy towards therapeutic care. So for some of you guys, you could be recovering. You could have been in the hospital. You could have been recovering emotionally, physically, mentally from a situation. For some of you, not all of you, this might resonate just for a few. It could have been a situation about some truth in a relationship where you found out there was a third party situation, especially since we have someone looking out and then we have this unity on this end. And I'm sorry if any of you guys were going through that, but right now it's like Virgo kind of has the energy of giving. And so regardless if you're a Virgo or not, you could be feeling like you were giving way too much. Now, when we talk about self-love, we talk about pouring from your own cup. Now, if someone has a hole in their cup, do you think they can pour into you? No, because even if they try to go through the motions, they get in the relationship, they do the thing, the water's coming out of one end. So right now, the focus of this Virgo energy is healing. We're no longer wanting to repeat those patterns. So we have 2 cards talking about healing. This card description actually talks about it. I just didn't read it. Then we have deep emotional healing with the azurite. And then we have a time for healing with the balsamic moon. So what needs to be released is there might have been some sort of truth that came out, or a situation where you felt like you were put into a defensive, uncomfortable situation with the 7 of Wands. Now, sometimes this card kind of gives me the energy of betrayal, or something that came off as betrayal, like where you trusted someone or you were comfortable and you were taken off guard because of the 6 of Wands below, and then he's got the 1 wand. So it's almost like even how this person's at an advantage. Maybe you thought you had gained something. Maybe you thought you had won something. It could have been a job, a relationship. There was something that you thought you had won, but as soon as you got it, you almost had to defend it so hard. The universe is saying, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Because this energy manifests stress, and that stress manifests deep emotional healing, something you have to heal from. And with the Ace of Swords, it could have been some truth that came out. Now, it's interesting how in this card, he's standing in front of a tower or a castle, but it gives me the tower vibes because it's something that's not built on sturdy ground. If you're getting a blessing from the divine, whether it's a job, money, a man, a woman, a spouse, you're not going to have to defend it. It's going to be yours. The 6 talks about victory. So this seemed like it felt like something that wasn't true, or something that you thought was legit that wasn't. That's kind of the energy that I'm getting. And so for some of you, it could be extremely painful right now to be grateful, because you're looking at circumstances that you thought were pretty. Because this also came out, and what needs to be released is the dilettante. And this, I'm going to read the shadow aspect because this is for what needs to be released. But if you just look at this card, look at all these beautiful Virgo energy, like the painting, the planting, like this doesn't look negative, but when you read it, it says pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess. So I'm feeling like imposter energy. There could have been someone who overcommitted or did something. There's some sort of dishonesty if this is coming out. It's almost like this was the Six of Wands and this is what happened. You were put in a situation to defend yourself, or whatever you were trying to create, a job, a circumstance was built on a faulty foundation. And to me, the Ace of Swords with a lot of readers, not all readers, I mean, everyone reads in their own way, but how I interpret this is a Tower moment, but it's kind of sometimes it come off as like a sharp truth. And one thing that I wanted to say is that a lot of times we look at situations whether they're right or wrong, good or bad, but in this situation, when we're dealing with the third eye and the fourth, third eye and the crown chakra and fourth and fifth dimensional consciousness, you rather have authenticity and truth than kindness, because sometimes you can't always control how the truth comes out, but you can control your reaction to it. So I'm seeing for some of you, there could have been some sort of harsh truth that came out about someone that you, maybe it could have been a boss for some of you, it could have been someone you work with, someone you're in a relationship with, and then we have the new moon in Libra. This says new romantic cycle begins. So it could have been something that appeared to be really balanced and beautiful and, you know, great, and then it kind of turned into this situation. So whenever you're in a situation where you have to defend yourself, what was the lesson? What I'm seeing here from the people who are resonating with this is that it's time to tap into your mystic, magical energy, okay? I'm not talking about just reading tarot cards. You see how she's like calling bullshit? Like she's calling time out? Some of you guys are calling time out. It's time to really do that. It's like the delusional energy from people who are creating like these false victories, these false wins, these false, it's almost like getting caught up in an illusion. It says reveals intimate union with the divine. Okay, now here I'm going to say this. People who are really tuned in and tapped into the magic that they possess in their life have a superpower. Now, I'm not saying that everyone can't, and that's funny, superpower, I am powerful. It's not saying that everyone doesn't possess a power, but not everyone ever accesses it in this lifetime. There might have been a truth, especially with this blue. It could have been something that was said or something that you said to someone else. Anything that is meant to last how do I even say this, y'all? Sometimes you're going to feel like this. Even if you attracted a relationship, a job, you're going to feel this defensive energy, like you're put in a situation where you have to defend yourself. But this energy right here could have been leading you somewhere else, okay? So even if you feel like, why would I have attracted that person? Why did I go through that? It's right now, if you're watching this, you really, really need to tap into your star energy, okay? Now the star goes perfect with the mystic, okay? Because this is like Aquarius and this is giving me Pisces. So this is that healing. How I said you can't pour from an empty cup? She's got two cups because this card is talking about vulnerability, healing. This is when you're naked in front of the divine. Like, hey, I have no resentments. I'm open. How did I get myself into this situation? This is course correction. Now, for those of you that don't know, I'm reading this kind of as a tower in the background. The tower is when the divine comes in and just says, hey, this wasn't built on solid ground. Knock it down. And we get pissed because it's very, very challenging to rebuild. But naturally, in the order of the tarot, the traditional tarot, the star card always comes after the tower. Now, I know this is the Seven of Wands, but this is interesting because the star comes after a hard time. When you lose everything, or sorry, my cat. When you lose everything, sorry, y'all, she was wilding. Anyways, so when you lose it all, sometimes some of you guys might feel like you've lost something and you're stripped down. It could be emotionally, it could be financially, it could be a job. And there's a need to cultivate some healing space for yourself. And the beautiful thing is that you're supported in this. The star energy is a really, really good sign that if you're going to do this deep emotional healing and you're really going to, some of you need to work with azurite or work on your throat chakra. This is about surrendering control. Like, I was supposed to have this lover. I was supposed to have this ideal relationship. I was supposed to have this job. and look deeper. How are you feeding your own cup? What was the lessons that you learned? Because I'm seeing that this happened so that you could tap into your higher power. What are your rituals? See, a lot of times people look at this stuff, you know, like, oh, I do my new moon rituals, or I have my crystals, or I meditate, but it's deeper than that. Some people it's journaling, whatever it is. It could be exercise. Whatever it is that tunes you in with the divine needs to be a part of your lifestyle. Because some of you guys, I feel like you could have had intuition about a situation. There's a heavy, heavy connection with the divine here and with wisdom and knowledge. And so I see this is like the time to rebuild. I feel like this reading, I'm going to call it Rebuilding the Tower. I don't always label my readings just because I don't like to deter people from coming. I just see that's open and it's timeless and you take it how it resonates. But this one is going to be Rebuilding the Tower because you have I Am Powerful and you have Topaz here. You see how she's so connected with her own inner kingdom? This is forgiveness heals. It's time to release repressed anger as it's blocking health. I was talking about health issues earlier, and happiness. Now, I was telling someone else the other day that the utopia that lives within us has to be fought for, y'all. Literally. Now, you might feel like the situation that you're going through is in vain, or you come up against a situation that you feel like what was the point of it? It's to cultivate using anger. Right now, we're in Mars retrograde. And this Mars retrograde is about that energy of Aries that's like angry and let's move, and like sexual energy levels. And some of you guys, I'm sensing that anger, especially when it says repressed anger is blocking health and happiness. Some of you guys could really heal your physical ailments and mental ones by just adopting healthy rituals that you do. Some of you guys, it could be spiritual baths, going outside in nature, working with crystals, anything that you can do to balance yourself, working with the moon cycle, because you guys are rebuilding a new tower, y'all, and I was going to wait to the end, but look at this. You start here and you end here. You guys are going to rebuild, okay? Because whatever job, whatever relationship, it was not built on a solid foundation, and you're going to attract people to help you build the vision. So this is, if you take away nothing from this reading, right here, you see how there's a drawn up plan? What's your plan? Is it to get into a reliable, sustainable relationship? Because whatever this was not sustainable. It was not balanced. Or this job was not. What do you want for yourself? What does stability look like for yourself? To build a tower, the Three of Coins is always talking about collaborative energy. To me, it gives me Capricorn because Capricorn is cardinal. Capricorn to me is like the architect. It sets the plans, then Taurus actually implements that, and then Virgo looks over the details. And since we're in Virgo, look over the details of your already constructed plan. Maybe you had a relationship. Maybe you had a job. What is that vision for yourself? Because I really see people rebuilding. It's going to work out just fine. But you have to own your power. And one thing I also wanted to say was that I heard something that really transformed my thinking when it comes to forgiveness. I was listening to Catherine Woodward. Her name's Catherine Woodward Jones or something. Don't quote me on that. I have to find her name. But she was saying that don't forgive yourself until you're ready. Don't forgive people until you are ready. Because when you get yourself into a situation with someone who's dishonest or a situation like that, how did you get into it in the first place? You have to first change the behavior so that you can forgive yourself and then in turn forgive them. Because for some of you guys, the Four of Cups typically talks about like not being able to see the opportunity. But for those of you who are watching this, you might be tempted with a good time, tempted with good money to stay somewhere, tempted with the Three of Cups. But in the traditional tarot, he's looking down at the missed opportunity and he doesn't see the divine handing him this cup. Now, remember, I was talking about feeding your own cup. Now, with the star energy, I'm knocking all my cards down. I'm getting all fired up. With the star energy, you might be working double time right now on your self-love. You might be feeling like you're doing the extra, spending lots of time alone, doing lots of healing, but it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off big time. You might be doing twice the work right now. But what I'm telling you, because he's looking up at this cup, you're going to get your cup back. You're going to get that self-love back. You're going to get that motivation back. For some of you guys, you're attracting in new love. Some of you guys are attracting in new stability. You're going to rebuild. And it might feel like the whole tower is down, but vibrationally, you're collaborating on something much more intricate, much more beautiful. This old dusty castle in the first place, nah, nah, nah. And it's funny because this is 7. 7 talks about the wisdom. I always see 7 as wisdom. What did you learn? What knowledge are you implying? What are you going to do now to build this new thing that you didn't do before? So before you forgive yourself for involving yourself with anyone or anything that didn't align with you, before you forgive anyone else, change your behavior, because your forgiveness will be legitimate. And so, y'all, I know that was heavy as hell, but I just wanted to do this reading because you're going somewhere new. You're doing the work. This is for people who do the work. So if you're watching this, you were meant to see this. And then, yeah, the outcome, the last one, is the Queen of Swords. And I love the peacock, because the peacock energy is like, I don't give a F. Like, you see me, I see you. And it's not defensive. It's not even bitter. It's just like, I'm passionate about what I want to do moving forward. You don't have to like it or not. I have boundaries. This is boundaries, y'all. That same sword. Use this truth that you discovered, and pick up that sword and step into your power, regardless of your male, female, or not. This is about gracefully being unafraid to be seen and powerful, because you're now you've healed, and that healing, this is what you look like. Yeah. So don't be afraid to own your power, guys. That's what the power looks like. That Queen of Swords is what the power looks like, y'all. So anyways, I'm getting all hot. So good luck and blessings to everyone who's doing a ritual tonight. It's okay if you watch this a little bit later, because intention is intention. However, the moon is powerful for the next 3 days. This is September 17th, 2020. If you guys would like to book a personal reading with me, all of my info is down below. And I also have like love donations and all different types of information on my website. And I'll see you guys in the next video.